I think as the Destination Marketing and Management Organization for San Luis Obispo County, we represent a number of communities in one large region. And so our goal is to really balance resident quality of life and also the positive economic impact that tourism can bring. And it's really important for us to make sure that as we market this destination and we market this region, that we're doing it in a responsible way and that we're working with our partners. But this idea of working with economic development and tourism driving the community forward is super important. And one of the things that we have spent a lot of time doing is working on the strategy of how do we market this region in a way that's responsible while also taking responsibility for what can be positive and negative impacts of tourism. So how do we balance those two things? We created a document called Visit SLO CAL 2050, which took into account the regional efforts. And it included everyone from the tourism community to elected officials to community leaders, which was really a plan of, okay, what are all the things we need to tackle as a region? So it includes workforce housing, it includes transportation, it includes things like workforce development, it includes customer service training. So there are a number of things that that document includes, some of which we as a DMMO can own, and some of those that we don't. We just need a seat at the table to have a voice for the tourism industry. We can market all day long, but if people come here and the experience is either A, not what they expected, they're not coming back, or B, if residents feel like we're inundating them at times when we don't need one more person on the beach, then you're going to have the community do a real pushback. So how do we balance those two needs? One of the things that we focus on a lot is how do we move people from place to place? So Pismo Beach in the summer doesn't need one more person on the beach. But a place like Atascadero can use some other people. It's warmer there in the summer. They can use some people during that time of year. So how do we help the visitor understand? What we found is we're a large drive market from San Francisco to LA because we're in this center, so they can come up or down the coast. But if you say to someone in LA or San Francisco, something is 10 miles away or 20 miles away, they're not going, because to them, that means hours of driving. And here, you can go 10 miles in 10 minutes. And so we work on creating assets that tell that story so that we can move tourism around in a responsible way. I think the other thing that's really important in balancing tourism and resident quality of life is how do we continue to have people have a voice in what we're doing. And so we have an advisory committee that's made up of elected officials, that's made up of the tourism community and community leaders that meets several times a year, that really can talk about what we're doing. Are we on track? Is there something else they'd like to see us doing? You know, we can't do everything that everybody wants us to do, but at the end of the day, making sure that we're good partners, I think, is key. I think being open and transparent, right, on what is it that we're trying to accomplish? How can everyone have a voice in that and feel like they can take ownership? So we've created assets. We work with all of our local communities, both on the board of directors and then through the marketing committee, which is very active, that has representation from all of the communities. And so we create brand assets that both speak to the region as a whole, and then we create assets for those individual communities that tell their individual story. What is very challenging and also so much opportunity is we have so many communities that are different. You can be in Paso Robles and have a wine tasting experience and a culinary experience that is very different than the beach experience you're going to have in Pismo Beach. And so, or the drive along Highway 1 and all the little communities that make that up. And so for us, that rich storytelling opportunity is how we have brought people along. Darren mentioned it earlier, this idea of using data to our advantage. We've done that. We've worked with you guys on our brand awareness study to be sure that we're telling a story that's compelling and matters. And then how do we bring folks along where they feel like they have a voice, but they can tell their own story. And we're not trying to paint everybody with one brush. And I think that's the key to success, is no one wants to feel like they're part of a group where the idea is getting crammed down their neck. Everyone wants to feel like they have an individual experience or an individual voice. And how do we make sure we offer opportunity to hear that? And I think that's what's been truly magical about working with this region.